Now, what are some sort of dissertation defense tips that you can get? The best thing that you could possibly do is just practice rehearsing your presentation so many times that you're just almost ready to vomit. Go through, and if you think that 5 is enough, you should be doing 10 times that you've actually gone through this dissertation presentation, and it probably should be even more than that, till the point that you just know everything off by heart, that you could just you just it becomes very painfully obvious, and very clear. And what that does, it just increases your clarity. And then there's moments where you're like, I shouldn't say that, I should say this. And you should be able to navigate some of these issues. And it shows when people don't do that. Everybody is pretty well aware of that you actually didn't put a lot of effort into that particular thing, if that's the case. So the other thing that you should do is read up on the latest literature. Maybe you sort of completed your dissertation a while ago. You should sit down and read up on some of the latest research in that area, and just spend a couple of days reading some of that literature and getting reacquainted, so you can actually have a little bit of a conversation of the most recent work. Then you want to read your thesis several times over, more than once for sure. Depending how long it is, some of them are really long and painful, or some of them are short. If they're short, then yeah, you should be reading 10 times. If it's long, just make sure that you've read it a couple of times through, and you could just demonstrate mastery of what you're trying to do. The fourth thing that I'd recommend is create a list of questions that they could possibly ask. Now, it depends on your field and what you're doing and all that kind of stuff, so just make sure that you have some sort of pre-planned questions. But some of them are really obvious, that are going to be universal across most fields, right? So what is your research question, for example? Why is that particular research question important? What are you trying to solve in the literature? Why did you choose this particular measure over another one? Why did you choose this mathematical equation over this other one? Where did this derivation come from? Things like that. If you can have a list of questions and you can answer those, that's going to come a long ways, and it's going to make your life a lot more easier throughout the dissertation defense. So the last two I think are important because it's just important. So the fifth thing is just try to make sure you're enjoying the process as much as you possibly can. I know that you're stressed out and it's painful and nobody likes it, but just, given that, try to reframe that stress as excitement, and don't try to sort of get really anxious about that. Just frame it as excitement, that you're having a lot of fun with this, and that's going to help you navigate the just sheer volume of stress that you're going to feel, or the emotions that you're going to feel, as much as you can. And then the last thing is really make sure that you have a plan for when you're done that dissertation defense, right? So have dinner plans of that you're going to either go celebrate or go have a drink, or have a party, and just sort of vet, just maybe you have plan B or plan A, right? Like one of them being you passed and then you're going to have a party, and then another one is you didn't pass and you have a lot of work to do, which is normal. Don't worry about that. And you have a lot of work to do. Well, then you need to sort of drink your sorrows away again, right? So you just have to, or whatever. I'm not condoning that in any sort of way, but just know what I'm talking about. Just have some way that you are planning to do something after, because it is a journey. You did spend a lot of time working on this particular thing, so you should sort of respond to that, right? And acknowledge that that was a really important part of your life.